So, you've bought yourself a 4x4. It's big and shiny and beautiful, there's room for the kids in it, there's room for the shopping, there's room to go on holiday, and you're very happy with it, and all progresses well. Until gradually, bit by bit, you start to pick away at the corners of the idea of thinking, well, just what can this thing do off-road? What is it like? What is it capable of that ordinary cars aren't? Well, I know how we can help you there. Because there's a group of people here who probably went through a similar process. You're all members of GLAS, Green Lane Association, and did it start as idle curiosity one day thinking, well, I wonder what this car can actually do?
Yes, it did for the vast majority of the members of the club. The club itself started off with a small group in Wales who, with tremendous scenery right on their doorsteps, wanted to get out and have a look and see what was there. You can see a nice amount of the country by walking, a lot more by riding a horse, but the only way to get out and enjoy the bulk of the country is in a vehicle.
Now, people are going to say that the two aren't necessarily compatible. Big cars like the ones we've got around us and the countryside. But we are talking green laning, which is very different to your traditional off-roading.
That's right. We only actually drive on public rights-of-way that have full vehicular rights. There are off-road sites for people that want to play with the vehicles. What we do is not playing. It is very, very careful, considerate driving in the countryside. The only thing we want to leave behind us is a very, very minor trace on the grass, if we can help it, and all we want to take away with this is our memories.
In terms of techniques, what am I going to need to know? Because we are going to take a car around this. What am I going to have to bear in mind?
Low speed, just keep the engine ticking over, and with the vehicle you've got there, it'll virtually do it for you. That's the beauty of the types of products we use on these routes. Steering, you need to make sure that minor pieces like your thumbs are kept outside the steering wheel, but again, knowing that you're fairly new to this, we'll make sure that someone's there and you'll be briefed all the way.
It's going to be just as well. We've got a lovely Land Rover Discovery that Land Rover very kindly loaned us for the day. We're not going to damage it, we absolutely promise. Please. What is the popular car here? We've got all the Defenders you'd expect to see in the old Land Rovers, Range Rovers. What is the one?
Personally, I'm still a fan of the old series Land Rovers, although I don't own one anymore. They are still my favourite. But as you'll see from the vehicles we've got here today, there's American vehicles here, Japanese vehicles here, and a very, very good showing from Solihull.
Right.
It's all down to personal preference.
What if you turn up in one of the little tiddly off-roaders to an event like this? Is everybody going to laugh you off?
No, not at all. We've got a number of very small Suzukis here today. They all have their place. They're all capable little vehicles. And to be honest, in many ways, you could say that they are the optimum vehicle because they're lighter.
Right, well, let's give it a go. And can I actually say, I was going to say, let's off-road. But of course we're not. We're green laning.
Or off-tarmacking.
Let's off-tarmac. Either way. So, Paul, you have the misfortune to be my passenger this afternoon. How did you get into green laning then? Why green laning?
Well, I've done a lot of off-road or off-tarmac driving around the world. I found I enjoyed it a lot, driving Land Rovers in various places. So when I got back, I got involved with GLAS, the Green Lane Association, because I just felt it's something I'd like to do, and it's good fun getting out in the country with your vehicle.
Now, when you're on one of your photo assignments, it's slightly different because you're romping through a battle zone or whatever you're doing, and you go wherever you want. But obviously, we're in one of the counties in our own fair country now, and you can't really do that. How do we know where to go?
Well, yeah, largely when you're in a battle area, you tend to go on the marked strips anyway, because it could be a landmine anywhere off. But I know what you mean. First thing you do is get your Ordnance Survey map, and they have byways and RUPs, that's the road used as public paths, marked. Then, just to confirm they are actually vehicular and you can use them, you go to the county hall, your local authority, local highway authority, and you find the definitive map and the list of streets. Once you've made sure they're actually on there and shown as vehicular, away you go.
Because we've really got to do the must stress you can't just drive anywhere bit, because you've got to be careful, haven't you? I mean, you could really annoy people if you did this in the wrong place. That's
right. I mean, there's a lot of land that's private. There's a lot of bridleways which, although they will look very inviting, simply aren't vehicular, and you mustn't drive on them. So it is a question of finding the right place.
Now there is quite a, I wouldn't say complex, but quite a comprehensive set of etiquettes to things that you do and don't do, aren't there? I mean, if you encounter passers-by, for instance.
Yeah, if you come across a walker, or especially horse riders, we tend to stop, let them walk past, unless they're making it very obvious that they are waiting for you. In fact, with horses, it's generally a good idea to switch the engine off, let them go past, and then go away. It only holds you up a minute, and let's face it, nobody comes out here to rush.
So you work as a photographer for newspapers, and obviously all around the world, and as you said, frequently in battle zones. It's kind of a different sort of driving, I would imagine. Is that your more extreme, your proper like off-roading off-road?
Well, it can be. I mean, you'll find that roads tend to lose their surfaces very quickly when tanks are rolling up and down them.
Now there are occasions when you come upon blockages or it is a bit sort of blocked over. What do you actually do?
Well, if you've got an illegal obstruction on a byway, on something you can it definitely has vehicular rights. The law allows you to abate the blockage. You can remove it, which in extreme circumstances means sawing the lock off a padlocked gate, or removing large obstructions. You know, sometimes you have to sort of tow fallen trees that people have deliberately laid across byways. Landowners do it illegally because they don't want you to use what is your legal right of way.
On a simpler basis, you sometimes have to tackle the odd overgrowing branch, don't you, that might just take your paint off.
Well, yes, we do, and you know, sometimes, of course, through disuse, the lanes become overgrown. In which case, we have sort of regular lane maintenance days where we do, green lane restoration.
I suppose, interestingly enough, when you're rolling along these places, there's quite a lot of social history because some of these lanes are ancient.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the road we're on now. This is Hermann Street. This is a Roman road. This used to be the main Roman road leading to Lincoln. Effectively, it was the A1 of its day. So, I mean, that's sort of, 2,000 years old, this road.
And it's as simple as that. Taking your 4x4 a bit beyond the school run doesn't have to be dangerous for either you or your car. Not a scratch on it. In fact, I didn't even get it dirty, which is a disappointment. I wanted to look all macho. But next time.